Sige. Atong kanon.
Schedule ba na to? Sarado naman. Private naman.
Mauna. Asa naman to siya?
Mauna.
Coming.
Ana, oh.
All right. I'm back.
Where have you been?
Rex, what did you do? When you came on, everything froze.
I think you're cutting classes right now.
We thought rapture has happened already.
Yeah.
And you're left behind.
Yeah.
It's nice up here in heaven, guys. We have Zoom up here, too. I apologize. I've been having some internet difficulties, but thankfully I was able to get back here online. All right. I don't know where
It seems that the internet connection in the Philippines is better than US.
I think you're right. We switched our carriers, and we're using AT&T now, and it's been problems ever since. So, but thankfully we're back. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where I cut off, but I was talking about
the therefore.
Yeah, the therefores, and how in epistles, right? We don't have this kind of issue because all the words are there written directly because of the type of genre. It's direct, it's instructive. We call it didactic, meaning it's meant to teach. And so, but poetry, the form in which the words are expressed is a little different, because in poetry, right, they're looking for this shortness, this brevity, this artistic quality, this imagery. And so the words are implied to be there, but they aren't written there directly necessarily. And so we have to understand that. And that's why I notice I've highlighted all of the implied connections, the semantic connections between these phrases. Okay? Now, these are interpretive, and we want to check that later when we are consulting our resources to make sure that we have not wrongly understood or wrongly interpreted these connections, all right, between the phrases. Okay? All right, so now let's go to the next stanza, and let's see. Brother Ramel, can you do this one, verse 4?
Yeah, but I cannot see your verses in the monitor.
Oh, okay. Can you guys, anyone else see it, or am I?
Your
All right, let me stop it and I'll share it again. Okay. All right.
The same thing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Yeah, the same thing. It's just the diagram.
The expository preaching process summary.
Yeah.
Okay, what did I do here? All right. Teach. Oh, sorry, I put the wrong one up. How about now?
Yeah.
Okay. Verse 4?
Yeah, verse 4. So here, let me just show, this is what I was showing in verses 1 to 3. The highlighted words are the ones that were implied. Okay, let's go to verse 4.
Okay. So the strength of the king loves justice. You have established equity, you have executed justice. So
are these independent statements, or do you think they're modifying?
The strength of the Lord. I think it's independent.
Yeah, I would agree. There's 3 statements here. Strength of the king loves justice. You have established equity. You have executed justice. Now, what do I do with and righteousness?
I think you have to move it.
Where does it go?
Justice executed.
And
Yes. right?
I think the you is under the king. The strength of the king loves justice, establish equity. He have executed justice and righteousness.
They're different subjects, though. The strength of the king, you, and you. So if it had said, who has established justice, then we would do this.
To the king.
Under king. But it's not. It's a different subject. He's saying you. So I think it's 3 separate statements. I think Brother Ramel is right, that it would be like this. Okay? And then in Jacob, where does that go? What question does it answer?
Executed. Where?
There, where? Okay, good. And it's under, yeah, executed. Where have you executed justice and righteousness? In Jacob. Okay, good. All right, excellent. Brother Rex, why don't you take verse 5?
Exalt the Lord our God and worship at his footstool. Holy is he. Exalt. Exalt and worship.
Yep. So we have
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
And
then
Worship.
at his footstool, where?
Okay, good. Where do we worship?
Yeah, where? Yeah, worship. And then holy is he.
So,
Why? Holy is he. Why?
Yeah.
because
That would answer why.
So we have the implied here, for,
Mm-hmm.
and then yes, answering the question why. Why do we exalt and worship? Because or
Yeah.
for he is holy. Again, we have this implied. All right. And as we talked about before, there seems to be,
Therefore, yeah.
okay, like we discussed earlier, the last part of the stanza, whoops, what happened here? Seems to be the end of the stanza is in response to the statements made in the beginning of the stanza.
Yeah, correct.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Excellent. Let's see. Who's next?
Sir Tim, I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yes.
Should we not move the in the outdent the for holy is he under exalt and worship and not just under worship?
Yeah. Good point. So the question is, does this, let me use an arrow here. Does this holy is he
Modify the two things.
modify worship,
Exalt,
or does it modify
worship and exalt.
and exalt?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I think you're correct. It's both of them. So what you could do is a couple of things. You could put in here modifies both exalt and worship, or you could note it visually by putting these arrows here. I think format, let me find the, okay. So you could do this as well. So that'd be a way visually to tell you that you recognize it's modifying both of them. All right. So there's a couple ways you could do that. And actually I would do it this way just to make it a little more clear. Something like that. Okay. All right. Good. And that, I think up here as well, let's see. No, not that one. We're going to have it a little later. Okay, good. Let's see. John, have you done one of these yet? Can you do verse 6? Is he frozen? I think we lost John. All right. Brother Jess, why don't you take verse 6?
Okay. Moses, Aaron, among his priests. Moses, just like Moses, yeah. Moses, then down is, and Aaron were among his priests, and Samuel, okay, and Samuel, down the word Samuel.
Okay. What do I do with, okay, so yeah, Moses and Aaron, those are the subjects for were among his priests. Is that correct? Yeah.
And
Okay. And Samuel.
And Samuel among those.
Okay. What do I do with this phrase?
Those.
Okay. Good. Yeah. It's a who, so it's going to modify a noun, and the now.
On.
Yeah. Called. What do I do with this?
Called.
Yeah.
Answering the question.
Yeah, technically this should be one phrase.
One line.
Yeah, one line. Called on is the verb. See, so we got fooled a little bit by the English here. Called on actually is the verb. On is not acting as a preposition here. It's actually part of the verb. So it tricked us a little bit. All right?
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes.
And then the same here.
They called upon the Lord.
All right? And what do I do with this one?
And answer. And without.
Like this?
It's another statement.
Okay, good. All right, so notice Moses and Aaron were among his priests. Samuel was among those who called on his name. They called upon the Lord. He answered them. So these are all statements being made. We go to verse 7. All right, Joshua, why don't you take on verse 7?